Toby, bonus point win. Happy with that?
Yeah, of course. I thought these games are always tough. Welsh derbies are very, very tough, as everyone knows, and they often end up into a war of attrition, which, you know, there was still a bit of that, to be fair. And if you add in players coming back off international duty, there's another layer to navigate, which makes things difficult. But absolutely delighted with the outcome. Still bits and pieces that we can get better at, of course. But yeah, the nature of it, to rise above that and perform to that level, you know, obviously cards make a difference, of course. But to, on the whole, produce the quality of that performance, yeah, we're pleased with that.
And it keeps up the pressure on Cardiff. 4 points for that Welsh Shield, and in terms of European rugby next season, even maybe a top 8 place, keeps up the pressure on the sides above you.
Yeah, look, while it's mathematically possible, we're always going to try and, you know, swing for the fence. You know, I'll be the first to say that, you know, we've been edged out on too many narrow games, which makes this where we are. But that's the nature of it. That's the nature of sport. That's the nature of availability and all those bits and pieces. And yeah, it probably sets it up nicely for Judgment Day with, you know, playing Cardiff. So that all comes down to into that in relation to the Welsh Shield potentially.
Jack Walsh, he hit a few bumps today, he hit a few hits, didn't he?
Yeah, it looks like they had a little plan there.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, he's a tough boy, you know, he comes from a league background, he's used to getting banged around a little bit. He's a tough bugger, so he'll be okay.
You've got obviously a different competition next week, Champions Cup, big game, 8 days' time.
Yeah.
Which boys sort of coming back? You've got the internationals, so Justin Tipuric, Adam Beard and the halfbacks?
Yeah, so the people that won't be available are Alex Cuthbert, who's got a stress fracture, and Jack Morgan, who's got a leg injury. They're both long term. They've sustained them basically in training with Wales, and then Scott Baldwin obviously got injured in the game. So yeah, those three are long term injuries. You know, they're sort of 3 month pluses. So, but everyone else should be okay.
Gareth Anscombe?
No, he's training, but
yeah,
maybe. But yeah, but the rest should be fine.
That was your last home game today for a long time. You know, you obviously have this. What sort of emotions do you go through with that, with having and the fact that it's in March as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a very convoluted season, right? And obviously the Judgment Day distorts that because that's officially our home game. So, but yeah, I think it's important to celebrate, and if you can make more big occasions that fans want to get by. So Judgment Day, I get that, and you know, we've got a few plans for a few fixtures next year that might be interesting for people. But we understand, you know, if it is in March, that, you know, that's what the fixture gods give you. Enjoy it. I think it was nice to obviously sign off like we did last year. Last game was a Welsh derby at home and played pretty well. And you know, to get a bonus point win at home means that your loyal fans that come here go home happy. That's important.
There were a couple of players there who perhaps looked a bit more emotional coming off than normally associated with it. Nicky Smith, your captain today, what's the latest with him? Do you hope to see next?
Yeah, well, we still expect Nicky to be around. So from that point of view, there's nothing to report there. And you know, everyone was probably making their own assumptions about Al. And you know, he was very, very good today, I thought. And if that ends up to be his last game, he's certainly signed off at, you know, the Swansea.com with style, because I thought he was outstanding today.
Do you think it will be?
I just answered that.
But you know, just in terms of, he set up a couple of tries early on.
Yeah, no, he was visible in the loose.
Yeah.
The thing that Al brings is he brings the mentality of the team to a different level, because he leads by example. And you know, it's epitomised by how he defends, his maul defence. He turned over 2 mauls on his own and bits and pieces, the unseen stuff. And he's made a career of doing the unseen things really, really well. And we treasure that for sure.
Are you hopeful, Toby, are you hopeful Alan Wynne will be playing for you next season?
That's a decision more for him than for us. And we'll get to that when we need. As you can imagine, contract cycles are very, very sensitive stuff at the moment, and people's careers, but you know, respectfully, it's that'll be a decision for him.
He's been here 18 years. That's a long time in the modern. You know, what can you just sum up what he's been to Rossbury just during his career there?
Well, I mean, it's banded around, isn't it? Legends banded around all the time, but very, you know, often those things are, you know, you look at, you know, Messi at Barcelona, for example, and the impact that he's had, and you know, Alan Wynne-Jones is, you know, the Messi of the Ospreys, because he's been a bloke who's been there from the very, very start. Still there, still performing at the highest level, still an international rugby player, still will probably be going to a World Cup, the most capped international of all time, those things don't happen by accident.
Have you come across many more players like him in your time?
No.
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 Why is that?
It's around, you get competitive players and you get quality players, but the ability to continually compete and drive yourself to deliver your own performance at such a standard is rare. And I can probably name those on one hand in my 20 years of coaching.
What about Morgan Morris? He had a really good game.
He's not that old.
No, but he had a really good game, didn't he?
Yeah, great. I mean, again, you talk about consistent performance. He's been consistent for me in my time here. I can only, he was a breakthrough player in a as I got here. We treasure what he does. The thing about Morgan Morris is he's a smart rugby player, and I think coaches have sanitised the game a little bit. I'm not trying to get myself out of a job here. I think the game's quite sanitised a little bit, and I think you need people that are rugby smart. And Morgan Morris is a smart rugby player. Michael Collins, another example, smart rugby player. The world needs smart rugby players because they're the ones that break the game up. And those people, those boys, Morgan Morris, as you say, has an influence on games, and those are the people. This one here will grow into that, I'm pretty sure.
Do you see Morgan, as having the potential to play at the World Cup?
Well, again, that's not my decision. I know that Warren was here today watching it, and as boring as this answer is, it's the same. All they can do is put their hand up and play to a high level, and then it's whether they fit what sort of players and what sort of style and what they treasure. So from our point of view, we'll keep championing how good he is. He'll keep delivering like he does today, I have no doubt, and then we'll see where it goes.
Yes, it's been quite a month for you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Really enjoyed the experience and opportunities. Just got to keep going now, keep my head down, and hopefully keep going next season now. Hopefully.
Big occasions, big matches. A few months ago, you might not have expected this.
No, 100%. I didn't think I'd be playing consistent games for the Ospreys. It's always been a dream for me. And looking back at the last 3 performances, not perfect, but it's a lot to work on, and I've got to look at my individual performances. Yeah.
Yesterday, what's it like, to share the field with Ali Wynne-Jones, for instance?
It's been a dream for me again. Obviously, playing with people of that calibre, and just watching him today now and seeing his attitude and the way he plays, so it's another level again. And hopefully, I can keep playing with people like that.